Hello. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. In speaker. So welcome to IOME. And this is the first time. Yeah. So welcome to IOME. IOME is an innovation center. America City. Some call it Fab Lab. Others call it but we just call it IOME 24. So you have it's an innovation center where youths, community members, they can come in, they can come, co-create ideas, and make something from scratch. So here, usually, it's more of making than more of software. Yes, you can get software, but you are the making. That robotics making, someone new into robotics, someone into hardware components, laptop computer repairs, someone into electronics. Yeah. Okay. So if you're dealing with robotics, if you deal with hardware components, and also if you, in short, if you're a maker, both we do not have like specific thing, but both tech fabricators, fashion, textile industry. So here we have different machines. All of them are categorized under digital fabrication machines. So the other room, it's a fab lab, a fab room, where we have all those different machines from CNC, 3D printers, sewing machines, components, different components, different electronic devices. So if you want to build a drone, you can build from scratch here. You want to build a robot, something, a DIY object that you want to use, name it. Like this week, we had a training on electronics from basic. So even you don't need exactly to be like from campus. You've undergone such, let's say, electronics training. So even guys who started from basic and use the space. So you guys are all welcome. Feel free to join us. Feel free to attend our trainings. Next week we have a training move up. So if you're a carpenter and you see a carpenter that uses digital machines, what do I mean? You design on a software, instruct the machine to complete the design you want. Give me a minute. You know, sometimes talking will not show me. Usually, So I want to time, but that's what I wanted to explain. So if you're a business person, you're making such stuff. These are something like not all carpenters do this. But what you can do, you just design in different softwares, just the way you use the word, just draw it, design it, then you instruct the machine. As for this case, it's a laser machine which you have. The laser does the cutting for you and makes for you a product. I don't know how to go into. Go and sell outside. Same as Xbox. Same as people who make a watch. That's the same for you. What you do, you just go to a hardware or an electronics shop and buy a clock and come and fix it on your device. Without shop on it, you have your watch from here and you can continue selling it. So it's a space where you can make anything, by the way. Anything. And most of our items here we make by ourselves. So from, like I said, from textile industry, technology, woodwork, digital devices, you want to make them here. So guys are welcome. So we have different trainings this week of electronics. Next week we have branding, doing the brands that you see. Doing the banner cutter. We also have a CNC workshop. A CNC now belongs to woodwork. Yeah. So you guys most welcome to come to the space. And even if you're not doing that, you're just doing remote work. I know some of you work online, some of you do remote work. This room we call it a working space. So you can come, get a seat, do your work, no one asks you anything. Do your assignments, if you meet with a client, there's a space. So it's a space where you can come anytime. It doesn't matter, like we need to have a training. You can use a space, you can use the Wi-Fi is here, you can use free space, just do your meetings. So, last but not least, so for the guys that are here, can use this space, please don't use the room for today. If you just wanna like see around, yes, just tell me and I'll show you around. But for now, don't go to that room unless you inform me or Madam there is there. Our washrooms on your right, so gents, ladies, yeah, so feel free to use the space. You're almost, I think now I'm done with space. I guys are welcome. Welcome to this. So, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in today. So today's session is all about Active Directory. It's part of a series we are having as we prepare for the Bug Bash. Yes, most of you are familiar with the Fetch the Flag. This is one of the CTF competitions that SNCC organizes in collaboration with John Hammond. That's what we are preparing for. So we'll have this one today, and then there's another one coming up in February, just at the week before the Fetch the Flag competition. So Fetch the Flag competition is one of the competitions. You can, if you're a flag hunter, come in teams, join, participate, get flags, some nice prizes to be won. So you can just come along. We also have our Discord channel, and you can just join if you need support from the team, either from the organizers or anything of that, or maybe anything related to that. DevSecOps or cybersecurity at large. You can just join in and on the Discord channel, chat, ask the different channels around. You can look around the different channels for jobs, help, learning, everything is all there. So today we have Active Directory Security with Charles. So I believe he'll be taking over the session and doing his presentation. Charles.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
My name is Charles Koome. I'm from BSidesMombasa. So today we'll be tackling a lab, an Active Directory lab. But first I'll take you through some concepts that will help us so that when we start doing the lab, at least you'll be able to understand what you're doing. So the lab that we'll be doing is called Reset. But first, let's go through the slides, then we'll proceed. So the first, okay, So this presentation will explore about the key tools and techniques used in AD security. So let's start with the first one. So there is something called in Windows called Remote Manager. It allows administrators to remotely execute commands in there and manage systems using the HTTP and HTTPS and also the PowerShell. So the security considerations about this. So ensure, okay, for the security perspective, make sure that when you're using the WinRM, it's properly secured and use HTTP, HTTPS, and use strong authentication mechanisms. So you'll come and see how you can be able to exploit it. So the second thing is Kerberos. Kerberos is an authentication protocol in Windows. So the key concepts about this. 1 minute. So Kerberos. So we can take like, okay, let me explain it. Like there is one the key concept about Kerberos. Kerberos uses the ticketing system to verify a user. So the ticketing system means that, okay, you don't need to enter your password when you are logging into the machine. So you use a ticket that ticket is used to do a verification for you so that you can be able to be logged in. So the second one is ticket granting tickets. So this is used to it's used by the key distribution center, the KDC, to authenticate users. And number 3, the service tickets. It is used to access specific services in the system. So there is something called ARS rep roasting. So you can be able to, using this, you can be able to exploit some misconfigurations that are done in the Kerberos. So AS rep roasting is an attackers exploit the misconfigured Kerberos accounts that do not require pre-authentication to request a ticket granting ticket and crack. And you can use you'll be able to see that there's a hash that one usually gets, and you can be able to crack it offline and get the password that user account uses. So the tool that can be used to do this is called in-packet get NP users. So an in-packet it's a set of tools that are used. Okay, you can use it. Let's say they are Python tools. I'll share the repository. Hope you can see the screen. So in-packet get NP users. Okay, in-packet is a collection of tools that is used to when you're like doing a testing for the Windows environment. I'll show you the GitHub repo for it. Okay, there are a lot of tools that are contained in the in-packet package. So okay, there's something called Kerberos. This is used for targeting service accounts. So Kerberos, attackers request service tickets for service principals. Principal names, that's the service principal name, the short form is SPNS. So using this, you can be able to get the tickets, get the hash, and then you can be able to crack it offline and get the password. So the tools used to get these SPNs is a tool. It's an in-packet tool called Get Users SPN. It's just to extract the SPNs. SPNs that say it's the service principal names and the associated tickets. So using those tickets, you can be able to. Those tickets are in form of a hash. I'll show you an example when you start doing the lab. So when you crack the hash, you get the password. So there's something called in-packet lookup seed, or the SID. Okay, in Windows, when users are created, every user gets an SID that's specific to that user. So using the in-packet tool called lookup SID, you can be able to enumerate the AD system and get the list of users. So having the list of users, you can be able to use those users to do what I was saying, Kerberosing. Using Kerberosing, you can be able to get the associated tickets for the users that do not, for the user accounts that do not use password authentication. And then when you get the hashes, you crack them, you get the password, then you can be able to log into the accounts. So there's a tool called Cabroot. Cabroot is used for brute forcing. So Cabroot is used for brute forcing Cabros authentication and enumerate, and it can also be used to enumerate valid users. Let's say, for example, we use this tool to get a list of users. So you get the list of users. Some might be dormant, maybe they're not being used, maybe some are deactivated. But using Cabroot, you can be able to filter out and get the active users in the AD. So another thing that you can be able to exploit is something called NTLM theft. You can be able to steal a NTLM hash of a user and use that hash to log in as that user. You are impersonating the user. So attackers can use the NTLM hash. This is as an authentication in Windows to impersonate a user, or maybe if, let's say you get an NTLM hash of an admin, you can do a previous escalation and get it. So tools like Responder. Let me talk about Responder. Responder, you can use it with the NTLM hash, such that I'll show you how it's done when you do the lab. So you create like a file, you put the file maybe in a directory that's you can be able to read right. When you put that file over there, when a user tries to access that folder, it's so the file that you've put there, it has like some, let me call them some grabbers. So when a user goes to that folder, using Responder, you can be able to get the NTLM hash of that user. Let's see it in practical when you start doing it. So there's something called evolve. Okay, you can use this to remotely access. Let's say after you have compromised the user, using the hashes that you have gotten after you have cracked them and gotten a password. And okay, there's a way you can verify if that user can be able to do to be able to execute the Windows commands remotely. So after you have verified that the user can be able to execute the commands remotely, you can use evolve to log in as the user. After that, you'll get a foothold, let's say a foothold, an initial access to the AD system. After that, you can continue doing privilege escalation. So for the privilege escalation, there's a tool called Bloodhound. Okay, Bloodhound is a tool that can be used to, it captures like it captures its data in form of a JSON. And this data probably, sometimes it contains like, so the Bloodhound Python analyzes the active directory environment. So it analyzes all the environment, and it dumps the information that it has gotten in form of a JSON file. Using that JSON file, there's a tool, I don't know if anybody has ever heard of Bloodhound. So there's a tool called Bloodhound. You load that JSON data, and then you do the analysis using it. So from the analysis, you can be able to see like which accounts, the AD accounts, can you use to leverage your lateral movement through the network and be able to until you get the domain level access. That's like the admin. Yeah, so that's the end of the presentation. So let's do some hands-on. So this is the lab that you'll be doing. It's called Reset. It's a Windows lab. It's a hard one, but in case you have a question, you can ask me in the process. And I'll try to explain as much as possible. So we'll start by starting our machine. Hope you can see my terminal. Is it visible? Not yet. So I'll just create a directory called research. So you can see our machine is up. So we have been given an IP address over here for the target machine. So first I'll start by connecting to the TryHackMe network using a VPN that you can get it from here. So once you create a TryHackMe profile, under your profile you see access, and in the access folder you will see this is where you'll be able to download the OpenVPN file so that you can be able to access the labs. So let me wait for the connection to establish. So after it's said initialization complete, so we can be able to access the lab. So from here, you start by the first thing you do when you are doing, let's say when you're doing an engagement, you start by scanning the IP address so that you can get more information about the system, services that are running. So I'll just do an nmap scan. Yeah, so I'll just copy this command. So the minus A option in nmap.
Sorry, Charles.
Yes.
Can you try and zoom in into the camera? Let's keep zooming in and out.
I'll change the
Okay, so font colors is hard.
I think just play with zooming and out.
Is it okay? Better. So this is an nmap command. Nmap is its full name is network mapper. It's used to map the network to show you the open ports and the services that are running in the ports. So the minus A option will do an enumeration of the services and also tell you the services that are running. So minus P minus will scan all the ports from 0 to 65, 535. Okay, there are 65,535 ports. So minus open will only scan the open ports. Once it finds that port is open, it will do a service enumeration for the port. Minus OA, I want to output the nmap results in a file called research minus open. And then that's our IP address minus PM. I usually use it because most of the Windows systems, they usually drop the ping requests. Okay, a ping request is a request. Let me show you an example. Yes. We say ping google.com. So basically, ping packets are SCMP packets that are sent to, let's say, the IP address that you've provided just to confirm if it's online. But for Windows, mostly it usually drops the ICP packets. So on the same side, they usually use the minus P option to skip the ping process to confirm if the host is online. So minus minimum rate of 1,000, that's just to speed things up. And minus V is to be verbose to show me like once it gets an open port, it will be able to display it on the screen. So let's do it. So you can see now from here, you can be able to see like, is a port 445 open, 53, 139, 38, 135. So from here, at first glance, I can check. You can see that they have their own DNS. For 53 for DNS, 445 probably expect to see a shared folder somewhere over there, something to do with SMB. The 135 most of the times is used by. Okay, let's just check. Let's wait. Any question till that point? It's almost done. So port 88 is used by Cabros. So from this you can tell that this system uses Cabros for probably authentication. So at least now, so some of the things that I talked about will start making sense from now on. So you can see that services for 22 ports. 22 services. Let's wait. It's almost done. So this is what you found. So we can see that we've seen that the remain controller, this is the page is. So we'll just copy it and add it. We'll add it in our host file. So we'll just copy it. So you can see we have a domain, a simple DNS. So port 88 is for Cabros. 135, it's a service called Windows RPC. So from here, so we are having this information now. We'll start by first editing our host file. And after we add, I'll show you how you add this in your host file so that whenever you're doing an enumeration, let's say for example, it's saying to connect to something, you can be able to direct you can be able to point that IP address to this domain. So what we'll do. So I'll say so login. So I'll just edit it. So I'll just say the IP address of the machine. .219. Then I point it to the stack. Those I'll just add the top level domain. After we save it. So from there, since we've seen that they have a Cabros running in port 88, so let me just show you that. So like you've seen, in port 88, there's a service called Cabros running. You can see it from here. So it's start by enumerating the SIDs that I told you about to see the users that are in the system. So to do that, we'll say so we'll use this command called lookup SID. Okay, just copy it to the now pass. SIDs. So it will just show me all the SIDs of the user. So let's hit enter first and see the output. So it will brute force the SIDs from 0 to until it. Forgot to change the IP address. So I'm logging in as a guest user. And minus no pass means like most of the guest users don't have a password. So I'll try enumerating the SIDs as a guest user. So once I hit enter, let's check what we get. So you can see it has gotten the SIDs. So this is the name of the users. Anything after the THM slash, these are the name of the users. So I can try to make it a little bit pretty by just grabbing anything with that SID type group, because it's a SID type group user. I don't want the groups, I just want the users. So I'll say grab anything with SID. A grep command is used to find for that particular string that I've added. So it will only show me anything with the SID type user. So all of this we have like, let me check, around 40 something users. Yeah, so those are the users in the system. So after that I can try, I just want the users to be printed, so I can try doing a little bit of cleaning. So I can write this command to cut. So cut. Let me write the command, then I'll explain what it does. So basically what cat D, minus D means it's a delimiter. I want anywhere there is a space, I want it to be the delimiter, then I want the second field. So after here, this is the first space. So this will be the first field, this will be the second field. So I just want to print the second field. So the second field will only print THM / the username of the user. Yes, from there I can clean it a little bit more by removing the THM /. So what I can do is a command called awk in Linux. So awk, then okay, let me take a little bit out. So I'll pipe it through another command called awk. Then F. Then I'll put double slashes over there because I want anything after the slash. I just want to pick the value after it. Then I'll say second field. So this will just give me the name of the users only. So okay, the reason I put here 2 slashes, 2 forward slash, it's because if I put 1 in Linux, when you put 1, it's used as an escape character. So I'm using an escape character to escape another character. So that's why I added 2 of them, so that you can treat it as 1 backslash forward slash. So these are the name of the users. So I can save them to a file called users.txt. We will catch let me remember first. So you'll see that we have all the names. Okay. There are around 50 something. Let's check. You can check the word count using WC users. So you have 42 users in that text file. So after that, what you can do, you can use, you remember I talked about Cabroot. Cabroot can be used to enumerate and find the active users in the system. So you have 42. Out of this 42, I'm sure it's not you don't have 42 like active users. So we can use Cabroot to find it to make it easy for us. So Cabroot username menu. So username menu means we are enumerating the username for this. So then the IP address, and this the IP address. Then the minus D for the domain controller, which is tryatme.com. Then the name of the users, the text file. So that's the text file. So after that, we'll be able to get the list of the active users. So you can see, if these are Cabroot tickets, you can try and take these hashes and try and crack them to see if you'll be able to get the passwords. So you can see out of the 42 usernames, only 40 were valid. So I just want to get those 40 usernames. So what I can do again, I can try using the grep command again, so that to clean things a little bit. Grep, yes, I want anything at tryhackme.com. So after that, you can pass it to open. Okay, let me clear the screen first. So we'll use art as our delimiter. Then we can print the first field. So you get a list of users. It's bringing a lot of output. I can try and clean it up again. We can use this as the delimiter, then that field. See? So I've printed the fourth field. Let me remove some things again. So you have a list of usernames, so you can try saving them. Active users. So let's try opening it. So this is the list of the active users. For our main. So this is the name. These are the active users. So they are 40. So we are good at that point. So you can continue the enumeration. So what I can do, I can run the command again so that we take the hashes and try crack them to see if it's possible to crack them. So just open a new terminal. So I'll just copy the hashes. And then paste them over there. So I'll copy the first one. paste it. So I'll come and copy the second one over here. So I'll come over here and paste this one. Copy this one. And then I'm going to so I've pasted it. So after that I'll save this. And then there's a tool called John the Reaper. So I'll just run it. John. I'll specify the word list. Yes, I want to use that one. The row queue is a word list in that folder. So and then specify the hashes.txt. So let's see if it will finish. So as it goes on, we can try do the okay, let me show you. Yeah, this one. AS rep roasting. This is that attackers accidentally misconfigured Cabros accounts and do not require authentication to request for a TGT. So that you can see we can be able to get these hashes. For example, let's say the hashes from Cabros, let's say if you're unable to crack them, we can use the get NP users to get other hashes which are different from the Cabros ones and see if we can be able to crack them and get the passwords. So it's still going, so we can proceed. So I'll say get NP. Get NP users. By mail.com. This is the name of the domain. So and then you do minus users file. Then you use the file that you have saved it as valid users. Or active users. Yeah, active users. And after that, we'll say minus. You just want the users that have no password. They do not support password for authentication. Minus pass. Minus request. Minus IP. Then you put the IP address of our machine. And then if it gets the hashes, you want it to make the hashes John compatible format so that you can use John the Reaper again to crack the hashes. So you can say minus format. So you can either use John or hashcat. Hashcat is another tool that can be used to crack hashes. So you can either say John or hashcat. So for this session, we just use John. Make it enter, just wait and see. So you can see this one does not require period set. So for those that, okay, so you can see you've gotten our first hash, which is the other one, and this one. So it seems like the other one has finished. It has completed, but it doesn't crack any. So we didn't have any luck with that. We can create another hashes. And let's go users hash. So let me copy these hashes. to your first hash. That's our second hash. Then we do a little bit of spacing. Then for our third hash, yeah, so there it is. So we have the hash for somebody called Lim Long, the other one Tabitha Bridge, and the other one Analyst. So let's try crack them. So just use the same command as we used, but here we just change, we put the name of the hashes and use the hashes and see if we get the password. So John, the repo will automatically identify the hash type for the password hashes that you have gotten. You can see you've cracked for one. So you have gotten the password for a user called Tabitha Bridge. You've gotten her password. This is her password. So we'll just copy it. So using that, so we'll try to do this. And we'll try being compressing the users that you have got to see if we can be able to extract the SPNs, the associated tickets. So what you'll do is say get user SPN, then the domain name, then slash, then you'll add the name of the user that we have found her password. This one. You paste it over there. Then you paste her password. Then say minus request, minus DC, minus IP. They add the IP of the machine, of the Watergate machine. Then let's see what you find. So these are more hashes, so you can say either copy them and crack them. But this I already done it and didn't find anything. We just skip that part. But this is what you can do. So let's say for example you're doing a real engagement, if you get like more hashes and try and crack them and see if you'll be able to get the passwords. And there we'll use a tool. There's a tool called crackmark exec. also known as net exec. Okay, let me show you. So this tool is the one that we're using. So you can be able to use this tool to check if the user that you've got has maybe access to the WinRP, the Windows remote, on that tool that can be able to use it to execute commands remotely, or maybe if the user has some shared folders that you can be able to read or write into them. So it will do okay. CrackMap exec and net exec, they are the same thing. Net exec is the latest, but they do like everything they do. It's like similar. So just say sudo net exec. So we'll start with in and see if our user has rights for that. Address. MSU or user. Must be for password. So in case it writes something like pwned up into brackets, so it means that our user has access to that. But since we have a red negative over here, that means our user doesn't have permissions to in that domain. So we can try to do a DPNC. RDP is for the remote desktop protocol. Does the same thing like what any desk does. Almost similar. So saying true here, it means that our user is valid, so we can be able to use RDP with that user to connect to that machine. You can try even SMB, check. So you see it's a valid user. Let's see if the user has some shares. When shares list the shared folders that user can be able to access. You can see this user can write to this folder called data. Okay, let's just keep that in mind when we come to that later. So from our netcast, from our nmap scan, you can see you have 445 open, so you can try like accessing it to see if there are any shared folders that a guest user can be able to access. So this can be done with a command called smb map. So you'll say smb map -h, then the target machine, then -u, then guest. Or guest, see if we can be able to check that with the guest user. You can see yes. So even if you're a guest user, you can be able to read and write in this folder called data. So what I'll do, I'll just connect to that folder using a command called SMB client. SMB client /. SMB client / the IP address of our target machine. Then a folder called data. So we'll just enter, and ideally we are inside the directory. So you can say less. You see there's a directory. This D means it's a directory. So we have a directory called a folder called onboarding. So we can go to that directory. So if we do a less, we're able to see some files. Hope you can see my screen still. So what I'll do, I'll download this file to my local machine and see what they entail. So to do that, because I want to download them at once, I can use a command called recast, say on, so that when I'm downloading the whole list of them, it's possible to download all of them at once. And then I say prompt off, so that it doesn't prompt me to confirm if I want to download them. So after that, I'll say mget. Mget is a command to download from shared folder for Linux machine. So say that, then the files will be downloaded to my local machine. So let's see. You can see we have a first file downloaded, a second and a third file. So after that, you can just exit, do a list, and I'll be able to see them. So you can see those files. There's two PDF files and one user.txt file. So if I cut the text file, you see what it entails. That one. So I'll say it as this is a welcome message dear, and then the name of the user. You can see that there's a potential credential over here. So the initial password is reset me. Okay, so we have to see. Okay, so this means like any user that has been created, maybe this is the password that is usually set. So you can try and access the PDF files to see what they entails. So this is the first PDF. This is about maybe it's something to do with the group policy, maybe for a user who has just joined the company. This is what maybe they are given maybe to read and maybe understand stuff. Okay, so for this, you can see it's like understanding about maybe more details about the company, but okay. We found a user, there's a potential user called Lily O'Neill, and this is the initial password. So you can try and check if she has changed her password. So what we'll just do is copy that. That will just come out. You can do the SMB magic again. So what you can do first, let's cut the text file. And then you do this. Paste the name of the user that you have found. You just replace the white space with an underscore. And then edit the password. This over here. So let's check if maybe she has access maybe to our DP. the remote desktop protocol. So she doesn't have, let's see if she has the access to some shared folders. Yeah, she has access to like the guest, so probably she'll see what we have already seen, the data folder, maybe she has access to that. So let's try the win array. Yeah, she doesn't have access. So with that in mind, so we'll try, because you can see that we have the data folder, we are able to write in the data folder. So we'll try creating. Do you remember there's something I talked about called NTLM theft? NTLM theft. This one over here. This one. So you can, let's see if maybe if we try uploading the file that I was telling you, like a link file, so that anybody that tries to access that folder, you can be able to get the NTLM hashes and log in as them. So let's try to see if it will work. So there's this tool called NTLM Stealer. It's in GitHub. Let me show you. So here it is, the green one. So it creates a bunch of files that if you upload either one of them, so when somebody accesses that folder or that file, the NTLM hash will be transferred to your machine. You'll be able to see it. So do it practically so that you'll see. So I'll just download. I've already downloaded it in my tools folder. So it is NTLM deft. It is. So I'll be using it. So I'll say Polygon. Yes. So after that, I'll say minus G all. I just want them to do. I just want it to download all the. It generates a bunch of files with different types. There's .xml, .htm, .docs. There's also a .lnk, a link, .url. So I just want the NTLM has to generate all the file types. So let's say minus G all, minus S. So minus S, and then after this, I'll put my IP address. So to see my IP address, let's try. I'll just do IP address. So this is my IP address, the one that I used for the VPN, so that I can be able to access the lab. So this is what I'll copy. So and then I paste over here. Then say minus A, I want it to put it in a folder called, create a folder called test. So if I do a less, I'll say a folder called test. And then after that, I'll see all the files. So I just want to, I'll copy this .lnk file. This is what I'll upload. So what I'll do, I'll just copy it. And then I'll SMB myself to that folder that we initially had. Let me clear my screen first. The onboarding. So to copy the file, I'll just say put the name of the file. Okay. Before first I hit enter. Okay, let me split my screen. So I'll start the command called responder, so that it will be able to capture the hash of that of anybody that tries to access that folder. It's listening for any event. So after here, I just say enter. So you see, capture the hash of a user. Okay, so let me like after that I'll just go and copy it. This hash. Yes, I've copied it, so I can just exit over here and exit over here. Then I can say TLM, let's go automate. So just a call automate.txt. Let me paste it over here. So after pasting it, so I'll try cracking it with Jump. So let's see if it will find the password. Oh, yes, I found the password for that user. So what you can try and do, so you'll use the same process to verify if the user has access to WinRP, RDP, or SMB. So let me copy the name of the user. So password one. So let's say sudo. Zip. Okay, so here we'll just try to automate. Then the password is password. So one, let's see. Awesome. So at least we see we have that user has access to W. Okay, WinRM. So that's a good sign. So you can try for RDP and see. So he also has access to RDP. So let's see SMB. But for me, when I find a user has access to WinRP, I don't go through this again because using the WinRP can be able to get a share. So what I'll do from here on, I'll just say win equal WinRM. So that's our user's code automate. So I'll just change the IP address of our to the IP address of our attacker machine. The attacking machine. So yeah, so you're prompted to put the password of the user. Yeah, so we found a shell. So it's so again. Just put it over here. Put the wrong address. So the wrong address. So there's 23. Oh, I put in the wrong address. That was my IP address. So sorry about that. Yeah, so that is the found our shell. So I found the Windows shell here. So I can say who am I and check who I am. So I've logged in as this automate. So to find our first flag, it will be in the desktop. So yes. So here is our first flag, so you can just read it. Yeah, so yeah, that's our first flag. Any questions till that point? So we can proceed to get to open the lab. So for this now we use the command let me exit. So from here now we'll use the command called Python bloodhound. So as I told you in the previous session, okay, it is so you can use bloodhound to analyze the Active Directory environments to identify the attack paths and privilege escalation opportunities. So we'll just say bloodhound Python. This one. Yeah, that one. Then our user. Then the IP address minus NS is for the name server. So which will put the IP address of our box. Then wait for the dump. So password. So now it's gathering information about the Active Directory environment. So let's wait and see. So it has found 42 users, one domain controller in the forest. So you can see these are the JSON files that have been generated. So now from here onwards, we'll use a tool called Bloodhound now. So to start with, by launching first Neo.js. Neo.js start. Oh, Neo4j, sorry. Okay. So once it's started, we launch Bloodhound. Let me share the screen. So then I'll just log in. It hasn't started a minute. Let's see if the server is up. And so our server is online, so we can start. You've logged in. So over here is where you import the graphs. So you just copy the, you come to the downloads, and you select those JSON files. Okay, 1 minute. So let's import our data. No, it's in the wrong. Okay, right. I was using the wrong one. So I click import data, downloads. So you'll wait till it finish. So what you're doing here is importing the data that you have found from 1 minute. So basically the Bloodhound Python, it logs in as the user, automates to the domain. Then it gets how the infrastructure is and dumps that data in a JSON file. So this JSON file, because you can't be able to if you want to draw meaningful, if you want to get the whole structure how it is, we use the Bloodhound, which is graphical. Okay, let's say it's a graphical and it can map out the JSON file better, so that you can be able to see how the structure of the domain of that domain is. So after you can see it has already been imported. So from here, we'll just come over here and let's search for the first user that we found called Tabitha. Okay, this one. When you click on her, yes. Okay. Right. Oh, there's something I forgot, that's why.
Okay, done.
So what I'm doing is I'm just uploading the files that we had that the Python Bloodhound had dumped for us. So after that's complete, so the data is already in our database. You can try searching for this also. A minute, guys. Chris, a minute. So if you come to the analysis tab over here and click on AS rep prostable users, so it will bring you these 3 users. So just click on. So when you come to Shabib over here, so we'll come to this section. So when you click on Tabitha over here, so we come to outbound. So I just want to see the transitive object control. So transitive object control means okay. Okay, 1 minute. Let's start with this one first. The first object, degree control. So the first object degree control refers to a user or a group having direct control over an object. So Tabitha over here has generic all. Generic all means like she has like control over Shona Brian. So that means generic all. Okay, let's see if we can be able to get a good explanation about it. So the user Tabitha has generic all privileges to this user. This is also known as full control. This privilege allows the trustee to manipulate the target object however they wish. So we can use Tabitha. We can use Tabitha to reset Sean's brand password. Ideally. So that's a very dangerous, let's say, property probably. So you come to brand and Sean brand over here. Yeah, we click him and then go. Okay, sorry. So we go to here, transitive object control. Okay, so transitive object control refers to indirect control of an object through a chain of relations. So you can see Sean Brian has a force change, can do a force change password for Cruz, and Cruz has a generic right to this one. This is a called driller writers, in which is a member of the domain controller computers. Okay, wait first. So from here, let's see what generic. Okay, force change password means that this user can force change password for Cruz Hall, and Cruz Hall has a generic right. Let's see generic right, what it entails. So generic right, the user Cruz Hall at that one has generic right access to the writers. So generic right access grants the user the ability to write to any protected attribute. So that means again, using that permission, what can I call it? That, let's say, property that he has been given, the generic right, Cruz can force a password. We can use that generic right to manipulate and abuse it to change, to force change password for, to change the password for the writers. So let's see it in action. So what we can do, we can chain it. Okay, so we'll start by, let me go back. So we'll start by Tabitha, who has generic all rights for to Shona. So you can use Tabitha to reset Shona Brian's password. Then you use Shona Brian's password. Okay, we'll go forward. Then you can use Sean. After changing the Sean Brian's password, we can log in as Sean Brian and force the change password for Cruz Hall. When we are logged in as Cruz Hall, then we can try changing password for the writers. After that, we'll see how we'll be able to continue after that. So let's do it. So this is what we'll do. So we'll use this command called netrpc. Then we say want to change the password for. Let's start with Sean Brian. Okay, let's just go like this. Okay, I'll explain this command. So -u means this is the -u is the, we are logging in as the user to the domain. Our user is Tabitha Bridge, because Tabitha Bridge we know her password. So we log in the user and therefore put a percentage sign, then the password, then -s is the domain. So remember, this is the domain that we got after we did the scan, the haystack code. So after doing that, let's see. So I've successfully changed the password for that user. If there was an error, it would have popped up. It would have told us that it doesn't run successfully. So after that, we can use that password to change the password for Cruz. So here we can change Cruz. We're just given the same password, Cruz_. Then we change here the user Sean. _Gray. And the password is new password. So you successfully changed the password. So after that, we'll do again for. So let me change here. Then we add this bad user over here. Let me show you this one. They'll write as some winters. So we've already successfully changed. So let's click on the writers and check what he can do. So we come here to first object degree. Let's see. So he has a generic. Okay. That's good. So you can see he has an allow to delegate for. So there are writers has allowed to delegate privileges to the domain, the haystack domain. So when you click on it, let's see what it does. So Dala has the constraint delegation privilege to that. So the constraint delegation primitive allows a principal to authenticate as any user. So you can be able to authenticate to any user as any user in the system. So we can try using that property to try impersonating the administrator and see if you can get access to the domain. Okay, so for this, you can use something called litlisty. So let me show you something first. So you can see from here what he's allowed to delegate. He's allowed to delegate anything in the CTFs haystack.thm.com that name. So that's why when you're writing this command, so okay, you can do a man put for this minute. So let's see minus SPN. So minus SPN means the service, the target, the SPN of the target service that the service ticket will be able to generate for. So that service that we want is this one, CIFS. So let's say get access, but so we want to impersonate. So you use minus impersonate to impersonate the administrator. We just want to get his. Okay, so I'll show you something called. It's a cache from the Kerberos that will use it to log in as the admin. So after that, we put the domain name and the name of that account and the password that we had changed it to. So, enter. Okay, so you can see we have our ticket over here. So I'll export it to a path. Export. So this is the variable just to store this, that hash. It's a hash that can use to authenticate to the admin. So it's a cache that's generated from the TGT, the ticket granting ticket service for Cabros. So from there we can use min exec. WMI exec notify. So say minus k minus no pass, meaning you don't want to use the password, but you use that cache that you generated. So enter. So we get a shell, so we can see the users. Then you can go to the administrator. Okay, so then I go to the desktop folder. And there we'll get our root flag. It is yes, and we are done. That's so let's submit it. Yes, so we are done. Any questions? Yeah, so that's how we pwned that lab. Chris. I guess.
Okay. Nice presentation, bro. I have a question
Yes.
about LLTM.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You say the LLTM there.
Yes.
Actually, LLTM is mainly primarily purpose for authentication on Windows-based
Yes.
networks.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to know, can it operate to other operating system other than Windows?
Unless if that okay, so the NTLM is used with the SMB protocol. The Samba, so we know about the Samba. Yeah, so anything that's running the Samba, it will support NTLM. So that's why even in Linux machine, you can be able to like use SMB, the Samba to host a shared folder, and then to use NTLM for authentication and stuff. Any other question? Yes.
Mine was just an inquiry. Blood out.
Yes.
And you use Python script. You can configure and say this. I use Python scripts in blood out.
So for that to do what specifically?
Carrying out exploiting.
Yeah, maybe, but that's a tough one. But yeah, you can be able to. Yeah, you can write your own script maybe to dump the JSON. You can be able to do that. Yeah, you can.
Okay, so thank you. Amazing presentation. So I think if there's no other question, ideally either from the live audience or from the physical audience, I think you can say thank you for joining today's session. It was nice. So just remember, we do have an upcoming event, which is the which is the Fetch the Flag competition. This is in collaboration. This is an event that is in collaboration with the SNCC team. So just a moment. So I know today's session was a bit advanced for maybe you're a beginner, but you also have the Fetch the Flag CTF. This is in collaboration with John Hammond. Most of you know John Hammond if you're like, he's one of the content creators for ethical hacking and cybersecurity content on YouTube or any other places. So you've seen some of the challenges he's created. So we have Fetch the Flag competition, the CTF. It's coming up, so you can just go ahead and register. It's a nice place that you can go ahead and try out, maybe do a few things, a few prizes to be won. So this is actually for everyone, whether you are new, whether you're new to CTF. It's actually on February 27th, 9 a.m. ET, that is Eastern Central Time. And then it's actually quite a good place. Whether you're a beginner, you can come, then join the Discord in case you're stuck. You can be able to talk to people who are also part of the competition. Maybe you can also form a team that you can use to compete on the challenge and just have fun ideally. We'll also be hosting us another event. As you saw, there's a series of events. So today was a bit over the moon. So we'll be doing a more beginner-friendly event sometime in February. So be on the lookout on our meetup page. So that will be more of an introduction to CTF, maybe just a little bit of get used to CTF so that even by the time the Fetch the Flag starts, you already have a knowledge of what you'll be doing. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining and have a lovely evening.
Ama watu wa cybersecurity hawapigiwi makoti.